What's up guys, Bionic here, welcome to another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today's video is a special one because we are starting the second quarter of the year, and I've said during the first quarter that I would make a second version of this video, which is the top 25 champions. So in this video, after watching it, you will basically learn what are the currently hot champions that you guys might want to have in order to have the best possible teams. They're going to be a mix of a little bit of everything. They should give you access to one of the top teams for basically Ultra Nightmare, the arena, the dungeons, not faction wars though, but still it'll give you guys a very good understanding as what seems to be the current meta. Alright, so we're going to go through them really fast. We're not going to cover them entirely. I'll just highlight the key points about each one of them because we've got a lot to cover and I want to keep this as short as possible for you guys. And of course I want you guys to learn something from all this, so do comment at the end. It's really important. You guys got to let me know in the comments below what you guys think, if it is accurate or not, and how I can adjust it for the next version. Alright, so let's jump right in. So first off, we are going to talk about one of the newer champions that was just released with the basically battle pass, and this is not Grave Jill Killer, I'm sorry, it is Frozen Banshee. She is a fantastic poisoner, next level to be honest. She probably shines better in a speed team because of the turn meter increase here, but definitely work on this champion if you're looking for a magic poisoner, because sometimes that does come in handy. She is used against the Ultra Nightmare clan boss, very capable. Plenty of guides already out there on her, but definitely on my list for this quarter of the year. Next up, we are going to have, of course, none other than our Apothecary. He is not moved off the list. The increased speed, turn meter increase, as well as the single target heal and a triple hit A1. This guy continues to shine and is and will always be very useful all the way up into the end game. Next, Dark Elves, of course, none other than our Coldheart. She continues to be, again, very useful. The enemy max HP skill on her A3 is absolutely nuts, as well as a 100% turn meter decrease. Always useful against the Spider and the Fire Knight, so definitely still on my list. And of course, she's got the quadruple hit, A1, which is very good, and a heal reduction, which again is good against the Fire Knight. Next up, we are going in the Ogryn tribes, and we're going to talk about, of course, our Occult Brawler, one of the top poisoners in the game, probably better than some of the legendaries. It's because of his mechanic of the A1 poison, as well as his passive for even more poison. So this guy is absolutely insane, usable all the way up into the Ultra Nightmare clan boss as well. Also good against the Ice Golem, I've used him there, and possibly against the Dragon as well. So definitely a strong champion that if you're looking for a very strong spirit type of poisoner, this is your go-to guy. Then we've got a new champion as well, just released with the battle pass. He's in my list because he was so accessible. He was basically cheap, if I could put it that way, sorry, because of the price of the battle pass. But this guy with the AoE decreased defense and decreased attack with a 100% success rate with the right mastery, this is a game changer. I think his AI is a little bit screwed up, but very useful against, I'd imagine, the Spider, the Ice Golem, definitely seeing him in the arena as well to some degree. So he has a place right now. I don't know if he's going to stay there, but definitely if you've gotten a chance to get this champion, work on him. I'm pretty sure he's going to pay off in the long run. Next up, we have got our Skinwalkers, of course, our Steel Skull. Continues to be on the list because he does so many different things, and with a debuff extender, he's going to shine as a poisoner as well. But the remove all debuffs from a target ally and the heal, and then the increased defense and AoE heal, this is just a game changer. Really good. Definitely still work on this champion. Useful in the faction wars as well, so on my list. Next up, we've got a newer champion as well from the Night Revenant. I totally burned mine for the Rotos fusion, but hey, I'm not regretting it so far. But this is Sepulchre, Sentinel, because she's a decreased attack A1 champion and a really good one at it, but she's also got an increased defense as well as a block debuffs, okay? So it gives her that little bit of an edge basically against, like, let's say a Tyrell and a Jareg, and she's force champion as well. Plus she's got this cool passive, which has a chance to completely ignore incoming damage on one champion, I believe, and then she's got that famous defense aura 25%. So definitely a really strong champion to have for the clan boss. I wish I could have had another copy, but I did not. Next up, we've got, of course, our Skull Crusher. This has not changed. This is the most accessible, I guess, in a sense, counterattack champion, okay, who also works with the ally protection, which is unique, and continues to have a very good presence in basically all the clan boss teams. I'm really glad I pulled one myself. He's got the heal reduction A1. We don't really care about that. It's not useful, but he's got this cool passive where he will cleanse a debuff on himself at the start of each turn, so that does also come in handy. Next up, we've got, of course, the guy you want to have if you want to have speed runs for the dungeons. Really good against the spiders, really good against clearing the waves in the dragon dungeon. Also seen him use against the ice golem. This guy with the enemy max HP AoE, alright? He's one of the few champions, probably I think the only one that really shines to have this, and he's a magic affinity, so Royal Guard definitely on my list as well. He's got a quadruple hit A3, which can come in handy sometimes, but that's not really why you want him. It's really because of this AoE enemy max HP skill. Then we've got also in the High Elves, of course, our Tyrell, another fantastic decrease attack A1 champion. This guy absolutely shines against the clan boss. He's got that defense aura. He's also got, however, the decreased defense debuff, okay, which is really interesting, but you typically really want him for this. The AoE decreased defense, though, is useful in some dungeons. Definitely seen him used there quite a lot. So if you do have a Tyrell, fantastic. Please work on this guy. Also sometimes a pain to deal with in the arena, but typically we see him mostly against the clan boss. Then we're going to look at the Void Epic Champions. We've got one of my favorites. If you do not have a Royal Guard, it is Seer. Seer will enable speed runs across the board because she is probably the best at clearing the waves. Problem is, she needs a lot of champions to make her, or to enable her basically, to perform very well. So you need a lot of champions with a lot of buffs, alright? But if you do have that, the Karma Burn skill, which is an enemy max HP AoE skill, works off of eating basically the buffs on your team and the enemy's team. This is fantastic. Really, really good. Use her in the arena for some time a little bit as well, but that's basically why you want her. She has a chance for an extra turn, which is great, but that's not exactly why we need her. And then she's got an increased crit rate, and then 25% weaken, which is guaranteed to land on both cases. Okay, so this is rarely seen, but a really, really good champion. Then we are going to have, in the Dark Elves, of course, Madame Seers. Now, she wasn't on my previous version of the list because I had not really seen her in action all that much, but now I see her all the time. Really good in dungeons and especially good in the arena, mainly because of the remove all buffs from enemies, which is guaranteed to basically work, and then a decreased attack and a 60% decreased defense, which is guaranteed as well. This is nuts. Absolutely nuts in terms of skills. And then she's got, even better, a block debuffs on all allies. She's got a true fear basically if she's stolen some of the buffs, and her passive works to add a shield, and that will cause to the attacker basically to get a fear. Okay, so her kit is absolutely insane. Definitely on my list from now on. And now we're going to move on to the legendary champions. All right, so we'll start with the spirit champions. So there's no order to this, guys. Probably you've noticed by now. I'm literally just going by kind of like affinity type first. And so let's do the legendary spirit champions. First off, we've got Lissandra. Lissandra is on my list now. I see her more and more. She enables speed dungeons as well, very, very well, because of this skill right here, which is a 30% increased speed, 30% turn meter increase on allies, and then 30% decrease turn meter on enemies. This is nuts. This is next level. Nobody else does this like her. She is really, really good. I've seen speed farming on the Fire Knight in under 2 minutes, a minute and a half even, because of this champion. She's got a speed aura as well. And then she's got a fully deplete turn meter as well. This is really, really good. I absolutely love Lissandra. Next, we've got, of course, our famous Duchess. She is so hard to deal with. I see her in the arena all the time, and she's about to get a buff because her passive will be changed, but basically the Veil and the Perfect Veil is getting a buff, and so she's still going to be very, very powerful. But she's got a Revive All Dead Allies, and she's got this skill right here, which is an increased attack, block debuffs, and a Perfect Veil on all the allies. So really, really strong champion. I hope you guys get a Duchess because hate her in the arena because I don't have one, basically. Next up, we've got from the Barbarians, Valkyrie. Of course, counterattack, but what makes her shine with the counterattack is her shield. Now, the other counterattack champions like Martyr and Skull Crusher, they do it a little bit differently, but this shield, if strong enough, is really a game changer against a clan boss. I'd say even better than Martyr in a sense, alright? So Martyr is not going to be on my list this time because Valkyrie is there. She's also got the defense aura for faction crypt, so that's not the thing we want the most, but she's also useful in the arena because of her passive, which increases the turn meter, and decreases the one of the enemies each time they receive a buff. So again, really strong champion. If you have a Valkyrie, consider yourself very lucky. Then we're going to have in the Lizardman faction, of course, the best poisoner in the game, which is Draco Morph, but he's also got this skill right here, which is a guaranteed to land, decrease defense, and weaken AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. This is nuts. Not a lot of champions have this in the game. We'll cover the only one, or the next one that does in a little bit, but really strong. And then of course this 4-hit poison, which is guaranteed to land as well on a 3-turn cooldown. Really absolutely fantastic for the clan boss. If you've pulled a Draco Morph, you are extremely lucky. Next, we're moving on to the Dark Elves, and it is going to be our Vizier Ovalis. This guy makes the clan boss, or enables a clan boss team to really shine, because you can use subpar, I guess, poisoner in a sense, like a Steel Skull, a Battle Khazar, even though Battle Khazar is really good all around, but this guy will make any poisoner absolutely shine because he extends the debuffs, alright? Not a lot of champions can do this in the game, and he's the best one at it. He's got a triple hit A1 as well, so he can really pump out a lot of damage against a clan boss. I've had the chance to use him, so really strong champion. His other skills, don't shine that much, because that's what he's mainly used for, and he's got a perfect Vel, which will get a buff eventually, which will make him even stronger against the clan boss, so now he is on my list. Next up, we've got, of course, the Battle Khazar. There for obvious reasons. I really like his passive. That's probably one of the main reasons why he's mainly one of the best poisoners in the game, because he adds more damage based on the enemy having poison debuffs, alright, which is 15%. That's kind of huge. And then, of course, he's got the AoE remove buffs, AoE continuous heal, and then AoE poison on the enemy. Okay, so with a Vizier Ovalis, this guy becomes an absolutely beast, and then he's got the AoE heal A1, which is absolutely insane as well. Then we've got the new guy, of course, the new fusion that has made everything different in the arena, and it is Rotos the Lost Groom. He's on my list because he's accessible, number one, but also because he is such a pain to deal with, and this guy in a Relentless set will make your life miserable in the arena. And if you've got his partner, then it's even worse. But this passive right here limits the amount of damage he can take, which means you need multiple hit to counter him. But basically, it's capped at 50% of his max HP. And then he's got this skill right here, which is a 75% ignore defense skill. It ignores unkillable and block damage buffs, which means like champions like Skull Crown are now all of a sudden a little bit obsolete. And then he kind of steals health, so he's got a built-in lifesteal, and then he's got an extra turn A1, which adds a decreased defense, but that's not usually why we use him. But definitely a really strong champion, and he is good all around. He's been used against the clan boss, against the dragon, the ice golem, and definitely in the arena. So Rotos the Lost Groom, definitely on my list. Now let's do the Void champions. Let's start with, of course, Arbiter. Arbiter is there because, well, she's really accessible in a sense, and then she's got this turn meter increase turn meter increase as well as 50% increase attack. This is nuts. It's a heal as well if players or our champions are below 50% health. Then she's got an AoE revive with another turn meter increase. I use her in all my dungeons, but of course she's got this 30% increased speed aura, which is really good. She's definitely always used in the arena, so she is on the list. It was before and will probably continue to be. Then we've got a guy that has not fallen off the list, Torment Occult. Torment is very hard to deal with, mainly because of his passive. I think as I'm noticing that more and more of the newer champions are having more and more OP passives, basically. So Torment is another perfect example with the freeze. Then he's got the AoE provoke as well as blocked buffs and heal reduction if they're already on a freeze debuff. He's got his steal buffs basically, or remove buffs, and then he's got an AoE freeze A1. Of course, he's also got the defense aura, 33% in all battles, so really good all-around champion. I use him in some of my dungeons, but I definitely use him mainly in the arena. Then we've got, from the Knight Revenant faction, of course, Hegemon. Who doesn't want an Hegemon? And that is mainly because he goes first, right? So really annoying to deal with in the arena because there's not much you can do if you, unless you have one basically yourself. And then he goes right into CC, which is block cooldown skills. It's only 50%, but it doesn't matter. It's usually enough to make the difference. So Hegemon is on my list because the current Platinum meta basically uses Hegemon, all right? Next up, we've got, from the Sacred Order, of course, the Venus. Venus is the second champion that can do the 60% decreased defense and 25% weaken AoE. It's only 75% chance, but once fully booked, it's 100%. This is huge, usable basically everywhere. Currently don't see her quite a lot in the arena, but against a clan boss and in the dungeons, she absolutely shines. She's also a very good poisoner, all right, on her A1, and then she's even got an HP burn. So definitely a really strong champion all around. If you have a Venus, fantastic. Next up, we've got one of the newer guys as well, another guy with an OP passive, Krisk the Ageless. I've had the chance to play with this guy. He does so many different things. He's very hard to classify, but I really like him, sorry, for the AoE provoke, okay? And then he's got a 60% increased defense, and then he's got the 30% increased speed on all allies as well. His passive is probably the most insane one of all. A 50% shield on all allies at the beginning of each turn, as well as a 60% decreased defense and 50% decreased attack on anybody who attacks him. This is nuts. Best part is he deals actually quite a lot of damage. Alright, so if built right, this guy is so hard to take down. Useful everywhere, even in the clan boss, in the dungeons. This guy will enable a Seer as well to perform very well. I absolutely love Krisk the Ageless. And then we're going to move on to our final champion of the list, which is, of course, the partner of Roto's Lost Groom, and it is Siphi the Lost Bride. I think she's probably the top champion of the game right now. Her speed is insane, the highest I think we've seen so far. Another OP passive, sorry, right? Heals each ally by 15%, removes freeze and fear on a 40% or 50% chance once booked, but guarantees to do that on Rotos the Lost Groom, which means you basically cannot CC a Rotos the Lost Groom when Siphi is there. This is nuts. This is nuts because those two combined together make the entire Platinum arena right now, right? It is the meta. If you don't have these two, you're basically not gonna get into Platinum. I don't like that in a sense, but hey, it's a way to keep the game interesting, right? You're always going to want to get the new champions because they're going to keep being more and more powerful. Then of course she's got a revive single target ally, full meter turn increase, and 50% increase attack and 30% increase crit rate. This is nuts. Then she's got this skill right here, which is even more nuts. Field turn meter of all allies by 15%, block debuffs, increased defense, and increased speed. Very good. Again, enables also a Seer to perform very well, and she's got a sleep, almost a guaranteed sleep A1, which is annoying to deal with. Phew, and that is it. That was intense. Sorry guys, I really wanted to get that information out there as quickly as possible. The current top 25 champions in the game, in my opinion. I know some of you are probably already thinking, where's Ray? Where's perhaps Jareg? Where's Miscreated Monster? Where's Martyr? Where's... Guys, there are way too many champions in the game to list them all. This is meant to give you a balanced overview of what is the current meta in the game. I am confident that with any of the 25 champions that you have in here, if you would have them all, basically, you would have very solid teams across the board, okay? But going forward, I built this from my current tier list, right? And as I work on the list, you will start seeing a lot more and more of the top 25, this, top 5, that, top 10 of this, because the list is getting close to being complete, and it is speaking very loudly as to what is the meta in the game. So do not forget to subscribe to my channel, hit that bell button, hit that like button please, and do let me know in the comments below what you think and what next top 10, top 5, top this videos you would like to see, because we are going to put, like I said, this tier list to good use. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys later.